This is group two, and we'll be going over Amazon Web Services or AWS. The team members consist of Juan Almanza, Tyler Doe, Juan Fuentes, Robert Jones, and Stephen Montoya. AWS is a global cloud platform which allows you to host and manage services on the internet. As of 2020, AWS comprises more than 175 products and services, including computing, storage, networking, database, analytics, application services, deployment, management, mobile, developer tools, and tools for the Internet of Things. The most popular include Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, or EC2, and Amazon Simple Storage Service, or Amazon S3. AWS provides on-demand cloud computing platforms and APIs to individuals, companies, and governments. It is used by almost 80% of Fortune 500 companies to host their infrastructure, and it has a lot of services which it provides to its customers. AWS provides platform of the service. You can get Java, Ruby, PHP as a service, so you don't have to manage the binaries of these applications. You can also get software as a service, where you get email sending capabilities like SES. They also provide queuing services like SQS, and it's a cloud storage platform, where you have a lot of storage options, including EBS and S3. So all in all, AWS is a hosting provider, which gives you a lot of services where you can run your applications on the cloud. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database storage, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud services platform via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Whether you are running applications that share photos to millions of mobile users or you are supporting the critical operations of your business, a cloud services platform provides rapid access to flexible and low-cost IT resources. With cloud computing, you don't need to make large upfront investments in hardware and spend a lot of time on the heavy lifting of managing that hardware. Instead, you can provision exactly the right type and size of computing resources you need to power your newest, brightest idea or operate your IT department. You can access as many resources as you need almost instantly and only pay for what you use. AWS offers a few types of cloud computing models. Infrastructure as a service contains the basic building blocks for cloud IT and typically provides access to networking features, computers, virtual or on dedicated hardware, and data storage space. This service provides you with the highest level of flexibility and management control over your IT resources, and is most similar to existing IT resources that many IT departments and developers are familiar with today. Platform as a service removes the need for your organization to manage the underlying infrastructure and allows you to focus on the deployment and management of your applications. This helps you to be more efficient as you don't need to worry about resource procurement, capacity planning, software maintenance, patching, or any of the other heavy lifting involved in running your application. Software as a service provides you with a completed package that is run and managed by the service provider. In most cases, people referring to software as a service are referring to the end user applications. With this service offering, you do not have to think about how the service is maintained or how the underlying infrastructure is managed. You only need to think about how you will use that particular piece of software. A common example of a software as a service application is web-based email, which you can use to send and receive email without having to manage feature additions to the email product or maintain the servers and operating systems that the email program is running on. So you have three different types of deployments for cloud computing. A cloud-based application is fully deployed in the cloud, and all parts of the application run in the cloud. Applications in the cloud have either been created in the cloud or have been migrated from an existing infrastructure to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing. Cloud-based applications can be built on low-level infrastructure pieces or use higher-level services that provide abstraction from the management, architecting, and scaling requirements of core infrastructure. A hybrid deployment is a way to connect infrastructure and applications between cloud-based resources and existing resources that are not located in the cloud. The most common method of hybrid deployment is between the cloud and existing on-premises infrastructure to extend and grow an organization's infrastructure into the cloud while connecting cloud resources to the internal system. The deployment of resources on premises using virtualization and resource management tools is sometimes called the private cloud. On premises, deployment doesn't provide many of the benefits of cloud computing, but is sometimes sought for its ability to provide dedicated resources. In most cases, this deployment model is the same as legacy IT infrastructure, while using application management and virtualization technologies to try and increase resource utilization.
Significance of AWS. It allows application providers, ISVs, and vendors to quickly and securely host your application. You can use the AWS's Management Console or well-documented web services APIs to access the AWS's application hosting platform. It allows you to select the operating system, programming language, and web application platform, database, and or other services as your need. It provides a virtual environment in which you load the software and services of your application. It's a pay and use service, so you only have to pay for the compute power, storage, and other resources that you might need to use. It also provides a scalable, reliable, and a secure global computing infrastructure, the virtual backbone of Amazon's multi-billion-dollar business that has been honed for over a decade. Using AWS's tools, auto-scaling, and elastic load balancing, your application can be scaled up or down based on demand. Backed by Amazon's massive infrastructure, you have access to the compute and storage resources when you need to use them. AWS uses an end-to-end approach to secure and harden infrastructure, including physical, operational, and software measures. How is AWS relevant to engineering design and practice? Amazon designs iconic products with ADS. It understands products' design needs. AWS has the most comprehensive and advanced set of cloud services and features available in today's market. AWS customers take advantage of the security designed for most sensitive organizations, and the ADS cloud architecture should be such that it supports growth and users, network traffic, or data size with no drop in performance. What's the importance of AWS? One of the biggest advantages of cloud computing is that you treat your servers as disposable resources instead of fixed components. Unlike traditional IT infrastructure, cloud enables automation of several events, improving both your system stability and the efficiency of your organization. On AWS, managed database services help remove constraints that come with the licensing costs and the ability to support diverse database engines that were a problem with the traditional IT infrastructure. There are a number of applications and services provided by the AWS. Some of the most popular are shown here. Due to time constraints, we won't be going deeper into specific applications and what each entails. Thank you. Ethical issues. One serial tax avoider is Amazon. In fact, it was avoiding tax that got them to where they are in the first place. It was founded in Seattle by Jeff Bezos in 1994. Amazon was created to exploit the loophole of not having to pay sales tax when selling online, which at the time was the only requirement for physical stores. Although in the US, Amazon now does pay sales tax in every state that it has one in. Calculations suggest that if Amazon has been paying taxes from the start, it would have paid a total of 20.4 billion in sales tax from the founding up until 2015. Amazon piled up billions of dollars in losses over its two-decade history, and it posted around $3 billion worth of losses during the first 8 years as a public company. Its most recent annual loss was that of 11.5 billion in 2019. Amazon's total earnings have easily toppled its losses many times over, but some of Amazon's earnings come from sales outside the United States, on which Amazon paid either lower or no US sales tax. Other earnings were offset by Amazon's investment in equipment such as computers and robots at its fulfillment centers. Labor behind the label's 2019 UK report, Tailored Wages, reported access whether leading clothing brands ensured that the garment workers were paid a living wage, where companies were graded from A to the letter E, where A was the best and E was the worst. At the time, Amazon scored a grade of E. The report went off to say, Amazon has no policy on living wages and has no mention to wages being enough to cover workers' basic needs in the supplier code. It is appalling that in today's market, and this market player of this size and influence has managed to take it so little responsibility for human rights at its suppliers and has taken such a hands-off approach in this vital issue.
Amazon Web Services is the leading company in cloud computing, and part of the reason is because of their compute power and how scalable or elastic their system is. The Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, also known as Amazon EC2, is a secure and resizable compute capacity in the cloud to launch applications when needed without upfront commitment. It's designed to make web scalable cloud computing easier for developers. Amazon EC2, a simple web service interface, allows you to obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. It provides you with complete control of your compute resource and lets you run on Amazon's proven compute environment. It uses technologies like AWS Nitro systems. It also lets you choose the type of processor you want, as well as Amazon's high performance storage, also known as Amazon Elastic Block Storage, EBS, and finally, enhanced networking. AWS is the first and only to offer 100 gigabytes per second enhanced Ethernet networking for compute instances. AWS Nitro Systems is the underlying platform for our next generation of EC2 instances that offloads many of the traditional virtualization functions to dedicate hardware and software to deliver high performance, high availability, high security, while also reducing virtualization overhead. The Nitro system is a rich collection of building blocks that can be assembled in many different ways, giving us the flexibility and design and rapidly delivering new EC2 instances types with an ever broadening selection of compute, storage, and memory for the network options. AWS also gives you choices for your processors. A choice of the latest generation of Intel Xeon, AMD EPYC, and AWS Graviton CPUs enables you to find the best balance and performance best balance of performance and price for your workloads. EC2 instance powered by NVIDIA GPUs and AWS Inferentia are also available for workloads that require accelerated computing such as machine learning, gaming, and graphic intense applications. Amazon Elastic Block Store EBS provides easy to use, high performance block storage for use with Amazon EC2. Amazon EBS is available in a range of volume types that allow you to optimize storage performance and cost for your workloads. Many EC2 instance types also come with options for local NVMe SSD storage for applications that require low latency. AWS is the first and only cloud to offer 100 gigabytes per second enhanced Ethernet networking for compute instances. Enhanced networking enables you to get significantly higher package per second, also known as PPS, lower network jitter, and lower latency. For high performance and computing HPC applications, Elastic Fabric Adapter is a network interface for Amazon EC2 instances that offers low latency, a high bandwidth interconnect between compute nodes to help scale applications to thousands of cores. Lastly, I just wanted to show this graph, which was taken as of August 2020, and it really shows how heavily favored Amazon Web Services is, and because of their, you know, great compute power that we just discussed. Um, and you can see that they're just leading here. You do have Microsoft and Google um, behind, but they still need a lot of work to catch up.
Amazon Web Services provides a wealth of resources for all types of AI and machine learning algorithms. A user is not required to have experience in machine learning in order to use this part of Amazon Web Services, as there is a marketplace that is filled with different kinds of algorithms and models for these users. I'll go over some examples of these in the next slide. What Amazon Web Services provides for people that have experience in machine learning is a tool called SageMaker. This tool allows the users to build scalable models more easily than if they were to be building them on their own in a different IDE. They are also able to create a wide range of models that can range anywhere from computer vision to predictive algorithms with things like what a customer might do or like. On this slide, you can see some of the services that AWS provides its users. A number of these are even used by Amazon themselves in their day-to-day operations. Two of these services would include demand forecasting and fraud prevention. The demand forecasting can help do things such as predict a trend that a product might see in the future, and the fraud prevention can help identify potential fraudulent activities to protect its users. A number of their services also include things related to human speech. One of these is chatbots, which allows a user to interact with an AI and have it seem more like a realistic conversation than other machine learning algorithms might produce. They also have translations that can give live translations of a text. So if you want to translate an article, it can do that for you. And it also has transcription, which can understand what a person is saying and put it down in the text. They also have more analytical algorithms, which include code review, which can scan through a body of code that's uploaded to a place like GitHub and say what might cause a bug or what might cause the company money in the future. And then they can also do image and video analysis, which will categorize the images and videos based on different things inside of it to help automate the workflow. AWS also provides support for deep learning frameworks. The distinction to make between machine learning and deep learning is that machine learning needs a very structured data set to process the data and to make sense of it. A deep learning network on the other hand, uses multiple layers of artificial neural networks in order to make sense of the data and to figure out the significance of it and what might be in the data. Users do not need a powerful computer themselves to run deep learning algorithms. Instead, they can pay for the resources to both store and run the algorithm on the AWS cloud servers. This significance is shown in that 85% of all TensorFlow projects that are run in the cloud happen on AWS's cloud servers. AWS has support for a bunch of the popular frameworks and languages that are used for machine learning and deep learning, including TensorFlow, PyTorch, Keras, and many more. Moving on to some real-world applications of the machine learning algorithms, we can start at the NFL, where players are tracked by two sensors in their shoulder pads, by sensors around the stadium, with an accuracy of within a few inches. AWS can then provide stats such as speed and acceleration, and then can use their machine learning algorithms to predict how many rushing yards a player might get in a game, as well as how many yards after catch a player will receive. All of the stats that you see on NFL Game Day pop up are provided by AWS. A popular example around the world would be Netflix, where Netflix uses AWS to help with things like storage in their databases, as well as machine learning and the computer power for the recommendations that they give to users and the video transcoding that they do. Another popular example around the world would be Formula One. These cars are loaded with around 120 sensors that can generate 3 gigabytes of data every second. It's a very good place to have machine learning with all this data, and with fast algorithms, a lot of fans and racers can gain insight into things such as how the race will end, in what order the race will end, how many laps a driver can overtake, or things such as how a racer might need to manage their fuel or their tires in order to last till the end of the race.
Amazon Web Service Cloud Storage. Most people are already familiar with this type of service, but essentially, cloud storage stores data on the internet, allowing users to access saved files anytime, anywhere. The main benefits of the service are as follows. Scalability. Perhaps the most appealing factor to the service is the ability to have the storage capability needed at any point in time, meaning you no longer have to buy expensive storage devices to handle future needs. For example, if you just started a business and have very few customers and files in the beginning, you only have to pay for a small storage plan through AWS. On the contrary, you won't have to worry if one day your business takes off and massive storage of files is needed, because you can just upgrade your plan and have access to more data servers. Interoperability. There are many different applications today that require integrations with shared file services that use various file types or schematics. This can cause many issues when users in a group try to share documents and other files with each other in order to complete a task or project. By using AWS Cloud Storage, it allows for simpler interaction between users, as there's no new code to write to have secure, shared file access between users. Budget and resources. For businesses, storing thousands of gigabytes of files can be extremely costly, especially when data servers are involved, as they're expensive and need to be maintained. By limiting the need to purchase this equipment and handle its maintenance, users can focus funds on other projects and improve day-to-day operations. These benefits are only possible due to massive data centers located in many places across the world. These data centers will be explained further in the next slide. Data centers. The previous topics mentioned, such as cloud computing, AI and machine learning, and much more, are only possible due to Amazon's massive data centers. There are well over 100 of these centers located across 9 countries and can contain between 50,000 and 80,000 servers, according to company presentations. Having so many locations allows for extensive backup of data in case any server begins to fail, giving users peace of mind. In addition, having these centers spread out throughout different countries means that people in these countries will have far lower latency, as the data will have to travel from US servers. These data centers also have very strict security measures to keep user information safe. Around-the-clock security is always in place, and only personnel who are qualified and have gone through extensive testing can gain access to work on these servers, thus limiting the amount of employees and third-party vendors handling user data. Challenges to adopting Amazon Web Service. There are many challenging factors to take into account when users decide to adopt AWS in their businesses or their personal use, and the following 5 bullets are perhaps the biggest factors. Skill set. AWS has a reputation of being highly configurable and user-friendly, but it still has a very steep learning curve when it comes to people unfamiliar with its systems and operation. For this reason, if you are using this service for a business and have a smaller IT department, it can be very challenging setting it up and having personnel use these resources efficiently in the beginning. Tech support. Amazon does offer different levels of tech support, depending on how quickly you need issues resolved and if you need a dedicated account manager or tech support for integrations with third-party plugins if something goes wrong. However, AWS support fees vary on a sliding scale tied to monthly usage, so support costs can grow very quickly if you are a very heavy user. When combined with lacking the needed skill set for operation, this cost grows larger by increased use of tech support to solve problems that a normal experienced user could solve. Control. Storing sensitive and proprietary data on external environments carries risks. Despite successful use cases that Amazon provides, moving sensitive data and business pertinent environments to the public cloud can require authorization and extensive levels of bureaucratic red tape. Security and data protection. Ensuring that data is secure when developing a cloud environment can be a daunting task. Naturally, as the adoption of cloud resources continues to grow, the risk of data breaches grows with it too. Closely tied in with security is data protection. Many governments place strict data protection requirements on companies and standards audit schemes such as ISO 9001 or the International Organization of Standardization. Performance and uptime. For many users, this can be a deciding factor for choosing to use AWS in their businesses and have a direct effect on the bottom line. A fraction of a second on load time can lead customers to leave a site, costing sales. And if your site is down for even a few minutes, it can affect not just the direct bottom line, but having a long-term impact on SEO and brand reputation as well. Questions to the audience. What is AWS? What is the importance of AWS for users? How can AWS play a role in engineering design and practice? What are some challenges of adopting AWS? What are some opportunities of improvement for AWS?